Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the first day of November 2021. I hope you're COVID-free today and healthy. I hope your family is COVID-free and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food and shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met. Blessings upon those that are working in the healthcare field, trying every day to save lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean. Blessings upon those also that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on those trying to deliver, trying to rescue, trying to save, trying to recover babies, toddlers, children, teenagers, and adults from human trafficking, from sex slavery, which is going on a global basis and being financed by powerful and rich people. Blessings upon them trying to deliver these from prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, pedophilia, and child molestation. Curses, double curses on all of those who support, finance, and anticipate and participate in these heinous, destructive, abominable industries. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. 600,000 men, women, children, and families on the streets of the United States of America, including veterans, and millions around the world who also have no roof over their head today. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom, and blessings upon those that are trying to help. Tonight, there will be a basketball game in Madison Square Garden. Our New York Knicks are going to be playing against the Toronto Raptors. And this is the beginning of a very tough stretch for our New York Knicks. We're going to be dealing with a serious schedule starting tonight. So tonight, again, they play the Toronto Raptors. But going forward, the Knicks have the Raptors tonight, Indiana on Wednesday, at Indiana. Then they're at Milwaukee on Friday. And by the way, I think Milwaukee will have back now by Friday both Jrue Holiday and Brook Lopez, which they've been missing badly over the last week or so. Then Sunday, a week from yesterday, they're going to play in the Garden again against Cleveland, who's also no easy task. And that's part of a back-to-back against Philadelphia coming on Monday at Philly. And then Milwaukee again next Wednesday. And then the following Friday, at Charlotte. And, so we have 6 games coming, pretty much in the next 10 days. So it's going to be 7 games in the next 12 or 11 days. So it's going to be quite a schedule. Now, I was also reviewing some of the schedule of our competitors, Chicago, Charlotte, Washington. Now, the difference in our schedules is that the New York Knicks have an extremely long road schedule. They have a few road schedules, but one very long one where they play 10 out of 16 games in the month of March on the road, mostly on the West Coast. The other teams are catching that part of their West Coast swing pretty much now. See? So the Knicks are going to be playing mostly their Eastern Conference foes. As we see, like over the next, like I mentioned, you're playing 7 games in the next 11 days, and they're all against Eastern Conference teams. So the Knicks have a chance to gain some ground on our foes. And then some of our foes, when we're playing them, we're just part of a start of them going to the West Coast and having to play, Murderers Row out there. So this is a good opportunity for the Knicks to gain some ground here because, later on we're going to have our own streaks of difficulty, believe me. So it's good for the Knicks right now to work out their kinks and to try to pile up some wins if they can. I mean, one of the most the craziest thing, not crazy, but things I keep smiling about is now in the Knicks, we know that the conference standings are, very important, obviously, very important. But there's also divisions, right? So you got your Atlantic, and the Knicks have been in the Atlantic Division, for forever, right? So in the Atlantic Division, you got Boston, Brooklyn, Toronto, Philadelphia, and our New York Knicks. Now, if I was to say to you that going into the 7th game of the season, the Knicks are in first place in the Atlantic Division, a division that has 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics, and Toronto Raptors, people will use that ugly word delusional, right? And try to say we're crazy. But yet, here we are, going into the 7th game of the season, atop the Atlantic Division, right? That just shows how far the Knicks have come as an organization, as a team, as a culture, how far the Knicks have come. And there's still some knuckleheads out there pushing that old Knicks narrative, right? And not really knowing what's going on. Those are not real basketball people. Those are just people that just kind of maybe glance at basketball once in a while and don't really know what's going on. There are lots of people in New York that really, if you ask them, they don't even know who the players are. I mean, people that claim to be basketball fans. So is that. But there are some people waking up. I'm noticing all haters, a lot of the haters on the media are starting to wake up to the Knicks now and think that and believe that the Knicks are for real. One of them, who shall be nameless at this point, was saying the Knicks look like a top 3 team or a top 4 team in the East. And this was a straight hater, from the Knicks. So people are starting to come around. You're going to get the bandwagon folks now starting to join Knicks Nation. But tonight we're playing Toronto. Now, Toronto is 4-3. And they're missing Pascal Siakam, who's basically, beside from Fred VanVleet, their MVP. But they're playing very good basketball. Now, the thing about Toronto that I'm concerned about is Toronto plays small ball. They just, that's their style. I got to give Coach Nurse a lot of credit. I mean, I was not happy when they let go of, the coach that had led them to the previous coach that had led them to, Dwayne Casey, who had led them to playoff wins and deep runs in the playoffs and developed the team. I was not happy when they did that. It seemed like a Mark Jackson type of move. But I gotta admit, Nick, and then Nick Nurse comes in just as they get Kawhi Leonard and they go to win the championship. But Nick Nurse is a good coach. I ain't gonna front. He's a good coach. And he doesn't have anybody on his team right now that's above 6'9". Like all of his players, his tallest players are 6'9". Pascal Siakam, who's not playing, as I mentioned, is 6'9". And they got, of course, we know about Chris Boucher. He's 6'9". Ken Burch is 6'9". And then, of course, Precious Achiuwa, who is their starting center, is 6'8". And then Scotty Barnes is 6'9". So they really play small ball. And right now they're 4-3. And I believe they're on a winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. First of all, they're undefeated on the road. They're undefeated on the road. They're 2-0 on the road. Okay. And they've won 3 straight, just like the Knicks. So this is, they're small ball. They scramble. They play really good defense. They run the floor, as you would expect from a small ball lineup. And they featuring the rookie, Scotty Barnes. Okay. So you got Fred VanVleet, you got Gary Trent, you got that crew, but they're featuring the rookie and their best lineup, of course, is their starting lineup where they have VanVleet, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, OG, Anunoby, and Precious Achiuwa, who they got from Miami. They're really good, those 5 guys. Now, their bench, they got, and I can't say this cat's name right. So if I chop it up, his name is Svi Mikhailuk. I think I got it right. Svi Mikhailuk. He's really a good bench piece. He's a good bench piece for them. And they have, Gordon Dragic, who's, I don't know, he seems like he's just now getting into being in Toronto. Didn't want to really leave Miami. Miami tends to have that family type atmosphere when players play there for a while. They don't want to leave. They want to stay there. And so, he did not want to leave, but of course he had to because Miami was getting, they were getting Kyle Lowry. So that was that. But Mikhailuk, Boucher, and Birch are pretty good, bench players that come to the bench along with Malachi Flynn. And of course, they guys I mentioned, Goran Dragic. So They got a decent bench. They got a decent bench. I don't think it's as good as our bench, but they got a decent bench. Again, but I think their starting unit is what's going to cause problems for us because they play small ball from the start. And I don't think Tom Thibodeau is going to change, our starting unit because he's going to make them play to us and see how that goes. So we're going to see what happens. Now, Julius, generally speaking, has problems with length. He has problems with length. So they come at you with length, even though they're not tall. All of those guys are long, close to 7-foot wingspans. When you're talking about Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, and Precious Achiuwa, they got length, right? So that's going to be a test for Julius. I predict that Julius is going to have a breakout game today. I'm expecting him to do that because I believe in his talent. And any NBA player, any NBA players I mentioned, you got to be a good basketball player to play in the NBA. But if you're an all-star, if you're all NBA, if you're an upper level NBA player, one of the top 15, which you have to be if you're all NBA, you're one of the top 15 players because there's 3 all NBA teams. And if you're on one of them, that means you're one of the top 15 players in the NBA. So that's Julius Randle. So those type of guys don't stay bottled up for long. Okay. They're going to break out eventually. And I believe Julius is going to do that. The question is, will he play within the flow of the game? Will he let the game come to him? And that's the key. So I'm hoping he just lets the game come to him. Now, obviously, the Knicks are going to be looking for him because he's the number 1 option. He's going to get his shots. I just don't want him forcing any bad shots, and I want to see him sprint back on defense every single time and not, after a play where he feels he got fouled and he didn't get a call, saunter back and Toronto will be a team that will definitely take advantage of that because, like I said, they're playing small ball. So we need him to be Julius Randle in terms of letting the game come to him, playing good defense. And I believe you're going to see him break out today. I wouldn't be surprised. And then, of course, you have RJ Barrett. We talked about RJ. I'm not expecting RJ to get 35 every game. He's developing, so I am expecting him to be in that 18 to 20 point range. He's a natural scorer. I don't see why he wouldn't get that tonight, no matter who's guarding him. But he also, in the past, has had problems against length. I mean, see Ben Simmons, right? He's had problems against length. So we're going to see. We're going to see his maturation because I'm not sure Precious Achiuwa is going to be dealing with Julius Randle. You're probably going to have Scotty Barnes guarding, Precious Achiuwa is going to be dealing with Mitch Robb. You're probably going to have Scotty Barnes guarding, Julius. And OG Anunoby, who's another up and coming all-star. The OG Anunoby, in case you don't know, he's really good also. And he's a really good defender. He came in the league with the defensive mindset already and the defensive talent. He's now developed on the offensive side of the basketball. So I feel he's a legit two-way player. And that's what makes them good when Siakam gets back. OG and Siakam with Scotty Barnes, they're going to be rough, man. But, he's not there today, so that's their problem. But OG will probably be guarding RJ. OG and RJ. So with that, and then you're going to have Gary Trent Jr. on Evan Fournier, and of course, Fred VanVleet on Kemba. Now, Fred VanVleet is a really good defender. I mean, not for a guy 6'1", just period. He will lock you up. Okay. And so we need Kemba to be aggressive. Okay. We need Kemba to be aggressive, but don't be surprised if he's not left open for open threes like he's been getting and he doesn't shoot like that today because Fred VanVleet can lock you up. Him and Kyle Lowry are very similar. He's a younger version of Kyle Lowry in that regard. He's short, but don't think that he can't lock you up. He can. And so that's going to be a difficult matchup for us because Kemba, I don't think can guard Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet's a very savvy, very smart. He just signed a big contract for a good reason. We were looking at him, right? The Knicks were looking at him. He's the total package, man. He could play the game. He don't look like he's short in stature, a little stubby looking, but he could play the game. Okay. So that's going to be a tough matchup for us. Gary Trent Jr., on the other hand, is streak shooter. So we gotta be on him. But he can't, I don't think he's going to be able to stick with Evan Fournier either. I don't think so. See? So there's going to be some interesting matchups. Precious Achiuwa is athletic. He's tough. He's going to be one of those guys that the fact that Mitchell Robinson has put on weight, and, gained muscle, going to come in handy today because Precious is a roughneck. And he can also shoot the three. They really run Toronto. They don't play. So, it's going to be very interesting. And then we really are going to need Julius because Scotty Barnes is all over the court. He's relentless energy. He plays both sides. He's continually running. He don't jog. He runs. Okay. And he's continually running. So Julius this is not going to be an easy task, even though Scotty Barnes is a rookie, even though he's 20 years old. Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him because he's that type of guy. He's averaging 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. And this is rookie year. He's 20 years old. Okay. Like I said, if people did ask me before the draft, who would you move up to draft? Because I wouldn't move up to draft almost none of the players, that was in this draft. I said I would move up to draft Scotty Barnes. I would move up to get him because I knew he was going to be that good coming out of Florida State. And of all the Florida State guys, your Jonathan Isaacs, your Mans, your Terrence Mans, your Malik Beasleys, of all the Florida State players, he's the best one to me. And that's saying something because they produce some players, right? He's the best one that's come out of there in a minute. Devin Vassell is still learning the game in San Antonio. He's going to be like a 19-point scorer, I think, long term. But Scotty Barnes is the best guy to come out of this program in a minute. And that's saying something because they got some, like I said, they got some really good players coming out of Florida State. But this kid right here, yeah, so we cannot sleep on him. He will kill us if we do. He will destroy us because he's going to run the floor. He's going to rebound. He's going to score. He's also a natural scorer. He locks up people on defense. Okay. He don't play that. So we cannot take him lightly. Julius cannot come with the sauntering attitude. He's got to be on his game. Take this kid seriously. Okay. Take Toronto seriously. We really have to do that. If you don't, they're going to punch you in the mouth. It's like a boxing match. If you don't take your opponent seriously, they're going to whack you in the face. That's what's going to happen. If we take them seriously, we're better than them. We could beat them. But it's all here, right? Especially with Julius. So, and the OG and Anunoby RJ matchup is going to be interesting. Again, because OG is a tremendous defender. Okay. And RJ is going to be on him as well. So this is going to be interesting. To me, the bench is where we can take advantage because the small ball that we come out with, against their second unit, we're better than them. So I really am, encouraged by like when D Rose comes in the game. Nobody on their second unit could guard D Rose. And then you got, you still got Obi coming off the bench. You got Alec Burks, of course, and then of course, Taj is going to get time because by the way, Nerlens is still out. I don't know. This seems a little bit more serious. It seems like he's hurt, but they don't want to do surgery because then they would lose him for extended months, which is fine. We're deep at the 5. So we're good to go. But I think his injuries are a little bit more than just a tweak because he's been out now. This will be the 7th game he misses. And he missed a couple of preseason games as well. So I don't know what happened. He says it's his hamstring more than his knee. And Tom Thibodeau is good at not giving out information like that. So I don't know what the situation is, but we're good. With Mitch, Taj, and then Julius can play small ball 5. And then, of course, we still have Jericho Sims if we need. So, we're good there. So it's good that, and especially now early in the season, it's actually, if you're going to be hurt, let's do it now and get it out of the way, so that, he can come back and then later on get in the flow. But right now, Taj is playing at 36. He's playing at a very high level right now. And so that's good. And in our second unit is going to be the key here tonight. Like I said, we got Derrick Rose, we got Taj Gibson, Alec Burks, Obadiah Toppin, and of course, then of course we're going to have, who am I missing? We got Taj, Obi, AB, Derrick Rose. Oh, here's another guy that needs a breakout game today. Emmanuel Quickly. He has really been quietly not having a good year. Quietly. Not like he had last year. So I think it's about time we see a breakout from IQ as well. So we'll see what happens. Tonight's going to be a test for the Knicks, though. Don't sleep on Toronto. They're much better than 4-3. And they're showing it. Like I said, they don't won 3 straight, and they're 2-0 on the road. 2-0 on the road. So we beat them tonight. That'll be their first road loss of the season. So it's on tonight, y'all. This is no joke. And this is a good game to get us prepared for this murderous schedule we got coming up. So they got to be ready. They're going to be traveling for the rest of the week. This is a good game. So, they got to be on top of it. I'm very glad we got Tom Thibodeau as our coach. He's not going to let them come out sleepwalking today. He's probably, giving them 10 times what I'm telling you in terms of intensity, getting them ready for this game. Some guys don't need it. Like RJ is going to be ready to play. I mean, he just is. That's just him. He's going to be ready to play. Evan Fournier is going to be ready to play. The real guys that we really got to mentally prepare is Julius Randle. Because anytime Julius Randle is having a problem on the basketball floor, it's always mental with him. It's always mental. So you got to get him mentally ready to play today. Don't take Scotty Barnes lightly because he's a rookie. Don't think you could just go on him because he's a rookie. He will fool you and you will look stupid. So yeah, we got to get in his head today. Hopefully the coaching staff is doing that. Take this kid seriously. Don't sleep on him. And all that length, take it seriously. So we're going to see what happens, but hopefully he comes ready to play. He lets the game come to him. And I'm hoping that his 3-ball is dropping. Once Julius Randle is hitting that 3-ball, it kind of opens up everything for him. And so, I would like to see that 3-ball dropping. If he's dropping that 3-ball tonight, we're in good shape. We're going to be in good shape. All right. It's going to be a good game. I think it's at 7:30. It's going to be a good game. There's a number of good games that are being played today, but that's the most important one, obviously, for the Knicks. But there's a number of important games being played today that affect the Eastern Conference. And so early in the season games that affect the Eastern Conference. So we're going to see. Boston is playing tonight. I think Indiana is playing tonight as well. So, it's going to be an interesting night tonight. Anyway, happy Monday, if there is such a thing. Happy Monday. Let's get a good start to the week, both for the Knicks and for you and me. Shalom.